The school committee begins working on the FY16 budget. Plans to upgrade the Osterville Bay school property are in the works, and Hockey East comes to Hyannis. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, March 6th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mannel. Superintendent of Schools Dr. Mary Schakowsky presents her budget plan for the FY16 school year during this week's school committee meeting. Schakowsky says the $64.3 million budget shows an increase of $2.2 million, or about 3.5% over the FY15 budget.
Tonight's presentation will detail my recommendation for funding specific positions based upon the needs of our students, district priorities, and the reallocation of resources to meet these needs, while also being fiscally responsible to present a balanced budget. Prior to this evening's presentation, a discussion with the BTA, president, and individual meetings between principals and staff occurred, communicating with specific staff positions which would be impacted. Every effort, obviously preparing a budget of this magnitude is a daunting task, and every effort will be made in this budget to first not fill retirement vacancies. Throughout the district, 13.4 FTE positions are being added to this budget as a result of MTSS schedules and program changes, and those positions are offset by 9.2 FTE positions for an overall net increase in this budget of 4.2 FTE positions.
Residents will get the chance to weigh in on the proposed budget at a public hearing that will be held during the March 16th school committee meeting. Plans to rehabilitate the Osterville Bay school property are in the works. Earlier this week, a plan to raise the existing structures and rebuild the fields was discussed at the Osterville Library with a standing room only crowd of residents in attendance. The Osterville Village Association voted in favor of demolishing the old buildings. The planning process will continue with community input. Hockey East begins today at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center. We have highlights from a recent press conference. For the fourth year in a row, the Hyannis Youth and Community Center will play host to the Women's Hockey East Tournament. General Manager Joe Izzo says bringing the tournament to Barnstable was a team effort.
I think it's fitting that this tournament is being held for the fourth consecutive year at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center, because the success of this tournament is a result of the community coming together to support this wonderful event.
Patty Lloyd with the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce says her staff is ready to make sure the weekend runs smoothly.
We'd like to welcome back Women's Hockey East. We're thrilled to have you here today and next week. We have a great team here lined up to host you, to show you some real good Cape Cod hospitality. We know the weather's going to cooperate, so we don't have to worry about that. And most of all, our volunteers they clamor to be here for this prestigious women's event. Kathy Winters and Joe, thank you so much for selecting Hyannis Youth and Community Center. I'm honored to work with this team here. The town of Barnstable, all the Tom Lynch and his team, Mark, Lynn, Mike, and everyone else, they've given us a support to actually solicit high-end, high-profile events. So thank you so much, and come back soon and often.
Town Manager Tom Lynch says Barnstable's resources make it the perfect location for Women's Hockey East.
This is really, a good brand of hockey, and I've been able to come to each of the tournaments. I'm a little disappointed that the red and white has beaten out the maroon and gold, but this year we're hoping for the best. And as I was talking to Brian Smith a little while ago, I think the fact that they're trying to make this a destination tournament, and we have a lot of amenities beyond this wonderful facility, and we have seen with different events that happen here that our local merchants do well, particularly in this off-season. We put people in hotels and motels. We have restaurants that offer specials and entice folks to come in, and we have just a wonderful array of restaurants along main streets and throughout Barnstable. And I know other towns have also benefited from that. I'm going to ask Mike Tirado in a minute, just to go up now, Mike, and say a few things about the economic development side of it. But I think that we've seen that the caliber of hockey that you're going to see here is really first class. And we here in Barnstable have a wonderful women's hockey team. They're a wonderful, there's a good kind of feeder group coming up from the Cape, and I think it's one of the reasons they may look to us is the fact that we're a community that likes our hockey and likes to support this. So bringing really a class event like this in the collegiate world to us here is a really wonderful thing.
Mike Travato, the town's economic development specialist, says the tournament is a boon to the local economy.
For example, we anticipate over 400 room nights to be booked as part of our heads and beds. We anticipate the event costs themselves to be spending somewhere over $25,000 within the community. And then on a direct spend basis, we anticipate well over $10,000. $15,000 being spent plus on restaurants and shops and things like that. So this is a perfect event for this community, again, not only from a benefit of economics, but also from what this represents for the people. And I think myself as a hockey player, it's great to see this caliber event come here too. I think it means a lot to the youth.
And Lloyd estimates the tournament will bring in more than $200,000 to the local economy.
The spend for ice would be probably about $10,000. They do a banquet for all the young women that are skating and the coaches. It's approximately $14,000 to $15,000. The room nights, the teams are all hosted at the Cape Cod Resort and Spa, who has done a terrific job in dressing all their staff in team jerseys, so that's exciting. Also, each team has a dinner, so roughly we're talking about $15,000 that we know that each team spends out on Main Street at certain restaurants. That team consists of approximately 35 people in the party, right, Kathy? Yeah. So the spend that we know, those are numbers we know, and we're not even talking about the participant or the attendees that will come with their families and in between games go out for lunch or spend money right here at the facility. So
the excitement doesn't end with Barnstable locals. Hockey East Commissioner Joe Bertagna says they are excited to be back in Hyannis.
We're thrilled to be back here. It's an exciting time of year, always for us. This year we've got a few extra things on our plate, but it all starts with this women's tournament that begins Friday and culminates in a champion here. Boston University really likes it here, as they've won it both times we've been here, and they're ranked second in our league. And the one thing that Hockey East has not had in our 13 years is a national champion, and we're in the best position we've ever been to do that. So that Boston College right now is the #1 team in the country, the #1 seed in our tournament. They still have to get past Providence to return back here. But that's the other thing that's at stake on the weekend when we come here is not only to crown our champion, but whoever wins the tournament gets an automatic bid.
College hockey playoff action is back. The 13th annual Hockey East Women's Championship Tournament at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center. Saturday, March 7th, the semifinal games at 1:30 BC and Yukon. At 4:30 BU and Northeastern. The winners play on Sunday at 1:30. Hockey East excitement right here on Cape Cod. Tickets are just $10 a day. Don't miss out. Get yours now at the HYCC.
Be sure to tune into our hour-long news program Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On Monday's show, we will chat with Town Manager Tom Lynch. We'll talk with Superintendent of Schools Dr. Mary Schakowsky. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.